Moving into the Formula 1600s now, proudly brought to you by Investchem. And the battle now is for second place in this championship. First place is wrapped up and in fact overseas doing international duties and warm-up for the Formula Ford Festival. And we wish Scott Temple all the very best for that. Andrew Schofield will join him and Rick Morris will be there as well, representing the South Africans. But out front here in this battle, Julian van der Walt has still got a chance of squeezing Nicholas Van Wheelie for that second spot, despite coming into this championship so late in the season. He's on pole position, and Siyabonga Monkongwana gets a good start off the line as we go on board with him down towards turn 1, trying to go there with Jules as they get into turn 1. He looks like he might have gone around the outside and found a way through there on Van Wheelie. Van Wheelie trying to shut the door and just get back up to that second spot. He does. Forces Monkongwana wide and into turn number 2. Oh, Tiago Rebello running a little bit wide. And this is now a battle for second in the championship, second on track. Schofield moving up and Julian van der Walt pushing as hard as he can, but losing a little bit of ground to Monkongwana. Good drive there from Ivana Setinic. She's had an incredible second half of the season. Slowly but surely becoming a contender for the front end of this field, never mind the mid-pack. Schofield with Rebello side by side as they go through there now, heading up onto the short straight. Tiago Rebello closes onto the back end and looking for a way now to get into that slipstream. Slipstream is going to be a vital role here with the two big straights. One of them we're on right now, that's the shorter of the two. And under braking, oh, Rebello closes on Monkongwana. Some cars stricken there, and in fact one of them going to join one of the Geldernace boys, moving slightly off there. I think that was all Geldernace who got it all wrong down into that turn 6. Unfortunately got back on track. Ivana Setnic now tucks in behind. It looks like that is going to be Alex Voss just in front of her. So Setnic fighting with Voss. Trying to find a way past, doesn't quite make it just yet. Gillespie now has got a slightly better run and slowly but surely making his way up there in the RP Trucking Components car. Here in the Investchem car, though, it is the man who leads things out, and Julian van der Walt taking 2 victories today could be the way to sort out second place in this championship. And the former champion now looking to get into the top 2 at least. It's the best he can do. Van Wheelie in second place is doing everything right. He has to just stay behind Julian van der Walt in order to wrap up second. Siyabonga Monkongwana, Tiago Rebello and Schofield fighting for honours in the top 5. They've pulled slightly away there from Gillespie. Gillespie's got through on Alex Voss, and Voss still in the clutches of the hard-charging Ivana Setinic. Zach Edwards closing on Lieutenant Colonel Alan Mayer. We're on board with Zaim Gulam just behind them. New man to the series, stepping out of karting and getting a chance now to get into a single-seater. Wants to go the single-seater route. Not a bad way to come getting involved in the Formula 1600s. Into turn 5, big triple left-hander. Schofield and Rebello still at each other, looking for opportunities if there are any. Very difficult circuit to pass on, particularly with these cars being so evenly matched. And you've got to try and force a mistake from your rival. Tiago Rebello is not making any mistakes, neither is Siyabonga Monkongwana. And Sia at this point hanging on for a potential top 3. Will be one of his best finishes of the season, that's for sure. Using that inside curve down into the dog bone. Just putting those Cooper tires onto the inside, and oh, great stuff there. Fantastic on how close these guys can get. Gillespie's dropped back again, and Voss this time is up for the challenge. The bottom end of the dog bone, runs a little bit wide, comes back onto the apex, gets the power down now. It's a left-hand flick, and then they go down the gearbox and into a double right-hander. Slight uphill. Oh, and late braking there. And a bit of a brake test, I think, coming out of Gillespie, trying to catch Voss out. Nearly did, but fortunately he saw it coming and avoided. And now into the slipstream. Can he use the slipstream though? Here they go. Pulling out. And is he good enough on the brakes? Alex Voss going to go through here on Gillespie. Under braking. Is he good? Yes, he is. He dives through and makes it thick. Can he get it turned in though? He can indeed. Great bit of driving there from Alex Voss to get through there on Gillespie. So the battle continues there. Zach Edwards, Alan Mayer and Zaim Gulam having some fantastic fighting. And that, of course, is for 11th, 12th and 13th place on track. Ooh, a little mistake. But in fact, that's a big mistake. The 88th car there of Zaim Gulam just looping it out all on his own. Let's have a look at it from his point of view. He just comes in, gets on the power, and it's a little bit too hard on the power. And he just loops out straight in front of Zach Edwards, who did a good job to avoid. Tiago Rebello now closing in on Monkongwana. Can he do anything about Monkongwana and maybe get himself up onto the podium? With half a lap to go now into the dog bone. He has to try and push it to the limit. Schofield's all over the back of him, waiting to pick up any pieces that happen there between Monkongwana and Rebello. But I don't think there's enough time there, and I don't think the gap is going to be bridged there in this last half a lap. Van der Walt is going to take the victory Nicholas Van Wheelie is going to hang on for second place. That's going to be enough, I think, for him to hang on for second in the championship. But we've still got one more race to sort out. It'll all depend on where Julian van der Walt finishes in that second race and where Nicholas Van Wheelie finishes behind him, if it's a case of van der Walt taking a double victory. He takes the first one, and it's pretty plain sailing by 6 seconds over Nick Van Wheelie. But you can see Van Wheelie is playing the championship game here. Just taking it very easy, not making any mistakes and keeping Monkonkwana behind him. He finishes in third place. Behind him is Rebello. Then it's Andrew Schofield with Alex Foss beating Gillespie to the line. Setonich coming through to win out Class B and 8th place overall. Few little modifications being done to these cars, maybe some fine tuning as well. First time that they've come to race here at Red Star Raceway. Join us after the break for more action from the Investchem Formula 1600s. Time to sort things out, and I think it might be just in time before the rain hits Red Star. We've had a day of changeable conditions all day long, and it's made it very difficult for some of the categories. And looking across at the skies, and there's a big thunderstorm about to make its way here. But hopefully the Formula 1600s can get out there before the rain hits the circuit. Gillespie looking for a slightly better and more improvement in his car. Julian van der Walt just looking for another victory. And has he got enough to possibly spoil the day for Van Wheelie and second place in this championship? 5-second board lights are on, and here we go. Drop the hammer on Ivana Setonich's car as she heads down towards turn 1, coming across to go almost instantaneously defensive on the drivers behind her. And in fact, that looks like it might be Zach Edwards. Yes, indeed. Coming under a bit of threat there from Edwards into turn 1 was Setonich, but she just hangs on. Round the outside, Geldenhuys and Edwards side by side. And you've got a hard-charging Brendan Tracy in there too. Better start from him this time. Schofield might have just squeezed out Monkonkwana. He has. Into turn 3, Schofield moves up one position higher. But it is all about Julian van der Walt and Van Wheelie, the top two to get away. Schofield in third, Monkonkwana on his tail. Looks like Monkonkwana wants away past early on. He's not going to let those two get away. He has to get past on Andy Schofield as quickly as he can. Remember, Andrew Schofield will be joining Scott Temple and Rick Morris as the South African contingent at the Formula Ford Festival. But not now. It's got to be sorted out in 1600s first. And Schofield wants a podium here, possibly for his last race in 2019. Rebello with a great move to get through there on Gillespie. Just squeezes Gillespie out into the clutches now of Setonich. What a drive here from Ivana. Probably her best drive of the season. Looking for a top 6, possibly even a top 7, as she sits there in that battle for the latter part of the top 10. The Alpha Universal car doing a super job and looking good in the hands of this young lady. Definitely a contender next year, as she's got to grips with these cars very quickly. Behind her comes Antoine Geldenhuys. Then you've got Zach Edwards and Brendan Tracy. They're lining up to go into another battle once again. Slowly but surely though, it's about a 2-second margin that Van der Walt's pulled over this first lap, and he's going to just keep ticking those seconds away. Double victory is what he needs, and he needs a little bit of luck and a bit of bad luck to go the way of the magnificent paint and hardware man there in second, and that's Nick Van Wheelie. Lap completed. Rebello, a little bit of an equidistant gap there between 3, 4, 5 and 6 place. They've opened up margins which they can literally control from where they are. Whether or not they're going to be able to control them and maintain that podium position is what they want. Something to go wrong with these two is possibilities as well for those guys to have some chance of the final blood of the season. Nice move there from Brendan Tracy as he closes onto the back end of Edwards. It's going to be another battle between those two young drivers. Watch out for that one. And Monkonkwana now has got through on Schofield. He's found a way past into turn 2. He solidifies it into turn 3. And Rebello now goes on the attack. Thiago Rebello also wants to get through there on Andy Schofield. Late braking. You can see the duct tape on those cowlings around the car just to try and keep the aerodynamics as best as they can get them. Add extra duct tape in there just to close off any of the gaps. Monkonkwana, again fighting the wheel, looking in the rearview mirrors to ensure that no one dives up the inside as he gets into the dog bone. Good driving here from Sia. He's done it all right all season long. Certainly a man also who will be in contention. Oh, what problems! Schof just made a mistake under braking. I think he got caught out watching the car in front of him and just missed the braking point, and he runs completely off the track. So Andy Schofield, oh, another man off as well. Once again, Zaim Gulam, baptism of fire here. Nearly running into where there was a fire earlier on, but fortunately he gets back on track. Also a youngster to watch out for. Very good karter, and I think in a single-seater, as he gets grips with it, will be a man in contention. This is on board with him as he gets it out of shape. It's into the dog bone. It's not the first man to lose it there, and he's certainly not going to be the last as he gets it back up and riding and onto the circuit. So it's checkered flag lap time here for Julian van der Walt. He's done it all right. Is it enough, though? Where is Van Wheelie? Is he in second place, or has he dropped back possibly into third? Has Monkonkwana been able to catch him? I don't think he has. It's Julian van der Walt with a double win on the day, and second place it is Van Wheelie. You just saw the yellow nose cone there of that magnificent paint and hardware car coming through for second. Monkonkwana once again in third. Great driving from this man. Rebello will finish in fourth, and yet again just outside of that podium. And he'll be fighting for podiums in 2020. There is no doubt about it, along with Alex Voss and Gillespie. So confirmation of the results there as they came across the line. It's van der Walt taking the win. Van Wheelie takes second place ahead of Monkonkwana. Rebello, Voss, Alex Gillespie, Ivana Setinic coming through there for seventh place, and Antoine Geldenhuys in eighth in the Abacus Division's racing car.
Jules, a perfect ending to what's been an up and down season, full haul of points. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good race. Both race 1 and race 2, we just absolutely dominated. I think the gap was around 6 seconds in both heats. You know, we did half the season with a racing in America, so to come home, I think, third in the championship, still to be confirmed. We're pretty happy with that. Huge thanks to Duncan and to Claudio. And now we're off to England for the Walter Hayes on Monday. So we're quite excited about that. But yeah, it was a great weekend. Big thanks to everyone for all the help, and to Ian for the car. Just can't say thank you enough.
Alan, you and all Geldenhuys had a great battle on track today.
Yeah, actually, yeah, fantastic. It was nice to have him here. I was behind Zaim, and slowly Zaim pulled away from me. And then I thought, well, bugger this, where's Org? So I slowed down, waited for Org, and then we had a lekker das. I mean, wheel to wheel. I think the people enjoyed it as well. And that's what it's about, show business.
Org, julle het lekker gespeel vanmiddag.
It was so much fun, I can tell you. Me and Alan had so much fun today.
You also earned your ballet stripes today as well?
Definitely. I mean, this is my first race, Formula 1600. So much fun. I'll definitely be back.
We look forward to it, Org, and come and join Scott Temple, the 2019 champion. Nicholas Van Wheelie in second place, only 5 points ahead of Julian van der Walt, Thiago Rebello and Monkonkwana, your top 5 in this championship. We can't wait for 2020. Fantastic race action all season long, not only here at Red Star Raceway in the Extreme Festival of National Championship Motorsport. We look forward to 2020. We'll be there to bring you all the action. This Formula 1600 action is proudly brought to you by Investchem, and the South African Superbike Championship is proudly brought to you by Liqui Moly and their associate sponsors.